The Worry website is one of the earliest Jacqueline Wilson books that I read. This was released in 2003, and I'll be honest, I thought it was released earlier than that. I vaguely remember reading it in around about 2000, 2001. Obviously, I didn't. But it's kind of stuck with me since. I can still remember it vividly. And this is one that I think a lot of young children can benefit from increasingly. Because I feel like kids with social media now have worries on top of the worries they would have had back then. There are new worries that we as adults probably can't really understand. The Worry website is a very short book. It is, according to Wikipedia, 123 pages, which is, it's not a bad length. It's not a bad length at all, and it's pretty good if you're just starting to read what I think a lot of schools refer to as chapter books. Obviously, the point of this is to help children, young readers, with their worries. First of all, to help them know that they're not alone. And second, to let them know that it's okay to go to an adult, your teacher, your parents, somebody you can trust, and let them know that you have some worries. The concept is really great, and I believe that this is also something that a lot of schools could benefit from. So the school sets up a worry website, and basically the children in the school or in the classroom can go onto this website. It's an intranet thing, it's not like a proper online thing, and they can type in their worries. So it's their way of kind of telling their worries without really having to have a face-to-face conversation, which I think is really quite a fantastic, kind of fantastic concept, because a lot of children will find it very hard to talk to other people, particularly adults in their lives. And I've just read on Wikipedia here, actually, that this was planned to be only 6 stories, with one being submitted by a fan through a competition. But apparently the winning entry ended so sadly that Wilson was motivated to write a 7th story to give the book a happier ending. So it does kind of suggest there that the people writing in with this competition have their own worries, and straight away the target audience are going to really benefit from this. And I really think they had a really good mix of worries. So I'm not going to go into loads of detail about all of the worries here, but we have ones about a stepmother. There was one about a little girl having nightmares, I believe. Lisa, the competition winner, her story is about a father who is an alcoholic, so that's pretty emotional. And Natasha, the final worry, is disabled and uses a voice machine and has obviously various worries that comes with being misunderstood by a lot of her peers. So the worries are very mixed. So chances are, if you are reading this and you don't live a perfect life, then you're probably going to relate to at least one of the worries. And straight away it feels like, I say you, I mean the target audience. But, maybe as an adult you might relate to things here as well. And even when you read it, there's probably going to be something to which you can relate. I don't remember what I would have related to at the time, to be perfectly honest with you, but I was a big worrier. I still am a big worrier, but it affected me a lot more when I was younger because I panicked about absolutely everything, so I would have really benefited from this. Would I have used it? It's difficult to say. It is very timely. 2003 is when kind of schools began to really implement computers, and by computers I mean those massive white, ugly, off-white cream towers and those massive chunky monitors. And your teachers would teach you how to type, but they'd be using one finger. It was the very beginning of all of that. So it was very timely, and I think it also kind of helped a lot of children maybe feel more comfortable with technology as well, because it's a very new concept for a lot of people at the time, particularly if you came from more impoverished backgrounds. We got our first computer in 2002. So for me, this was basically the perfect time for it. There's so much going into this. Is it as relevant now? Absolutely. Children deal with problems and all kinds of worries. It doesn't matter what decade it is or what year it is. Children will always have worries, and they will always need to be reassured that they are not the only people with worries, even if their worries are maybe a bit more unique, or if the worries are not the same. Yes, there could be an updated version with a kind of social media cyberbullying, but for the most part, it's still completely relevant and problems that every child could have. So does it stand the test of time? Absolutely. Is it well written for the target audience? Absolutely. I believe it's a 7 to 12 book. I would have been 11 when it came out, so just squeezing in there. We have a good enough insight into the characters for them to be relatable. And I think it's a very trustworthy book. It's one I think every child should read, because it's all about inclusivity and feeling like you're not alone, but you're actually part of something bigger, and that there is help out there, and you shouldn't be afraid to speak out, no matter how small or big your worry is. And this is probably one of Wilson's most direct books that deals with a lot of different issues. Do I recommend it? Yes. Do I recommend it for an adult reader? Not really. If you want to read one of her more adult books, read one of the girls' books or Love Lessons. But Worry Website is a nostalgic read, love it, is an educational read and very supportive read, an emotional read for the younger readers. Absolutely fantastic. No complaints whatsoever. In hindsight, looking at it as an adult reader, I think it's still really good.